1.5. Graph proportional relationships. Maps have grids to locate cities. The coordinate plane is a type of grid that is formed when two number lines intersect at their 0 points. The number lines separate the coordinate plane into 4 regions called quadrants. An ordered pair is a pair of numbers such as 1, 2, used to locate or graph points on the coordinate plane. So a coordinate plane is two number lines where they intersect at 0 that make up 4 quadrants, and we graph ordered pairs. The x-coordinate corresponds to the number on the x-axis, and the y-coordinate corresponds to the number on the y-axis. So the first number in our point is always the x-axis, x-coordinate, and the second point is always the y-coordinate. So if we're going to label the coordinate plane with the terms ordered pair, x-coordinate, and y-coordinate, if we look at quadrant 1 here, the number 1 is our x-coordinate because it is our first value. And then 2 would be our y-coordinate because that's always our second value. And then the whole thing would be called our ordered pair. So again, we have to remember an ordered pair is what we graph on our coordinate plane. The first point is the x-coordinate, the second point is the y-coordinate. So we're going to identify proportional relationships. Another way to determine whether two quantities are proportional is to graph the quantities on a coordinate plane. If the graph of the two quantities is a straight line through the origin, then the two quantities are proportional. So again, when we graph it for two quantities as a straight line through the origin, then it's proportional. If it does not meet both of them, then it is non-proportional. So let's try an example. James earns $5 an hour babysitting. Determine whether the amount of money James earns babysitting is proportional to the number of hours he babysits by graphing on the coordinate plane. And explain your reasoning. Okay? So again, we got to think about how are we actually going to graph these. Well, we know that James gets $5 every hour that he babysits. So I'm going to start by making a table. So I have hours and I have money. So let's say I babysit for 1, 2, and 3 hours. Okay? So after hour 1, James would make $5. 2 hours would be 10. 3 hours would be 15. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph those. My points would be 1, 5, 2, 10, and 3, 15. Okay, and then I'm going to connect my dots, so I want to make a straight line. So then after I've done that, I ask myself, is this a straight line? Yes. And does it go through the origin, point 0, 0? Yes. So we would say this is proportional. He gets $5 every hour. So he will always get the same amount every hour, no matter how many hours he's there. Okay, so if we look at another example, example B. The table shows the number of calories an athlete burned per minute of exercise. Determine whether the number of calories burned is proportional to the number of minutes by graphing on the coordinate plane, and then we're going to explain our reasoning in the work zone. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is graph this. So I'm going to graph my points. So my minutes is the x-axis, and my calories is the y. So here's my point 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 8, and 3, 13. Okay? So I need to graph these. Right? So now that I've graphed it, I ask myself, do I have a straight line? Nope. Does it go through the origin? Yes. So since we don't have a straight line and it does go through the origin, we would say this is not proportional. Because it isn't a straight line. So again, in order to be proportional, it has to be a straight line and go through the origin. If you notice here, this one starts to curve, so we cannot say it's a straight line. So again, it is not proportional because it is not a straight line, and it does not go through the origin. Okay, one more example. Number 1. The cost of 3D movie tickets is $12 for 1 ticket, $24 for 2 tickets, and $36 for 3 tickets. Determine whether the cost is proportional to the number of tickets by graphing on the coordinate plane. Then we're going to explain our reasoning. Okay, so again, we got to graph this first. So 1 ticket is $12, and then it's $24 for 2 tickets, and then we said it was for 3 tickets is $36. Again, I need to connect my points here. And then I ask myself, 1, is this a straight line? Yes. And 2, does it go through the origin? Yes. So we would say this is proportional because it is a straight line. And goes through the origin. So again, to be proportional, it has to be a straight line and goes through the origin. If it is not a straight line or does not go through the origin, then it is not proportional. It has to meet both of the requirements.